They're just cute little boxes. You can do them any color. They hold some nice little treats, and they're really fun to make. First, you need to decide what color you're going to make your hearts. When I made them, I used our new framelit hearts. I used the biggest one, the scallop edged, for the box. And you're going to need 1 sheet of cardstock. And I cut it in half. And if you cut carefully, you can get 2 hearts out of each half sheet of paper. I then ran 1 heart through the Big Shot on one of our plates. You're going to cut 4 hearts and then glue 2 together, so you'll have your embossed one for the top and you'll have 2 glued together for the bottom. Then I used soft suede and sponged around the sides. I've already done the bottom one. The top, just lightly sponge around them till you get the desired effect. And then I also did a light sponge over the design on the top. It helps bring out the design so you can see that a little better. And I'm going to finish this and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, now that we have our hearts put together and shaded around the edges the way we want them, we can put them aside for a few minutes and work on the middle part of the box. You're going to need 4 strips of paper. I used soft suede for my box. You're going to cut 2 7 1/4 inches long by 2 1/2 inches wide, and you'll need 2 of those. And you'll also need 2 that are 6 3/4 inches long by 2 1/2 inches wide. And you're going to score at 1 inch and 2 inch. And actually the score on 1 inch, I put it up next to the edge of the Simply Scored, and then I brought it away from the edge ever so slightly. And then I scored at 1. So I wanted to make that just shy of 1 inch. Then I pushed it back up against the edge and scored at 2 inches. And you're going to do that to all 4 of your pieces of paper. The reason I did the 1 inch slightly less is because this is going to be the side of my box, the middle part. And when I fold this down and fold this one in, I want to have enough room so this piece doesn't hit the edge of where I folded it. So it'll lay nice and flat. Okay, once you have them all scored, it's time to put them together. I used sticky strip, and I put a strip on one side of both of the 1 inch parts. I didn't do it on the little 1/2 inch piece. I started at that crease, went to the edge, and cut. And first you'll want to work with the 2 pieces of paper that are the same size. These happen to be my 7 1/4 inch pieces, and so I want those to be together. Take off your sticky strip on the one end and put the pieces together, matching up your score lines and just overlapping your sticky strip, the 1/4 inch. Then you're ready to fold over on your score lines and score your paper. And this is going to make the side band of your box. And why I had it folded, you can take out the bottom part if you want. I used the bone folder and ran it down the paper to break some of the fibers down and let it to curl so it would bend in a heart shape much easier. It didn't crease good. Okay. Once I had it folded, I unfolded again and put another piece of sticky strip on one end. Same thing I did with the other piece. And then you're going to make a circle, overlapping slightly. And you've got your circle piece. I make sure my crease folds good. And then before it's actually folded down, I'm going to put some of the liquid Tombow on it so it will adhere really good so the sides doesn't flop out. And it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit of glue down the side just so it'll stay in place. And then fold that top piece down again and secure it. I really like this liquid Tombow because it works really nice and it dries fairly fast. Then I crease it on my fold marks, and you should have one bump on one side and one on the other. Then you're going to snip your paper. This is to allow the heart shape to lay down really nice. And when you get to the end where you're going to put the top of your heart, where it's going to be a nice deep inset, you want to make sure you've got small cut marks so it really lays nice. Okay, and then kind of push them in, and that piece is ready to go. And you're going to do that with your other piece, your two smaller pieces. I've got those already done. So I've got my large and my small. Next, you're going to need 2 hearts cut out of the same soft suede or whatever color you used for your sides. And I used the largest solid heart next to the scallop to cut these out. The next thing I did, I started with my smaller one. Make sure these are laying in really nice. And find your one piece that's going to bend in. And make sure those are cut really nice on the back side. Put a little bit of your Tombow liquid adhesive on those, on your tabs on the bottom. And then you're going to put your heart in there. This is going to fit really nicely, nice and snug, all around your heart. You're just going to kind of outline with your sides this heart. And the dimensions that you're cutting them, it should fit there just really nice, right up next to the edge. And you may have to work with it a little and play because it takes the glue a second to set. And this is the smaller of the two, so this is going to be the inside part of your box. Okay, now we're ready to start on the larger piece. We're going to do the same thing, only this time instead of putting the heart in and pushing the sides up nice and tight, you're going to leave about 1/8 of an inch between the heart and the side of the bottom, because this one needs to be a little bit bigger so this other heart will fit inside so you can close your box. So I started it the same way, put some glue around, and put my heart in, matched my joint, the bottom and the top. Only I didn't squeeze it as tight. When I got it fairly close, I kind of started pressing down and decided that's where I want my box to be. And you're going to see that since this was cut longer, it's not going to fit up tight next to the box or the heart anyway. It automatically is going to want to have some space. So that's going to help you, and just kind of even it out all around the sides. Till you get it where you want it. And kind of make sure that this heart's going to fit inside. So you see that you've got two hearts that'll work well together. And we need to let this one dry a little bit. Now when I put the heart together on the top and the bottom, I like to work with the bottom one, the biggest one first. And in this case, that's going to be the top of my box, because I want it to go down over the side when I put the box together. And so I kind of eyeball it, make sure this one has got a tab on it I need to cut off, so it's nothing protruding from the outside. Make sure it's going to fit on here the way I want it. And then I use a little bit of the Tombow glue all over the bottom again. And when you put this on your heart, you want to make sure that your point at the top and the bottom matches the box as much as possible. And about as much even space around it. And glue it down. Press it all around the heart. Then I put the small heart inside, because now I'm going to put the bottom together, and you're working from the bottom side, so your shaded part is going to go down. And on this one, I glue around the box, leave it in here, and adjust this heart so I know I've got it lined up good. So while it's in here, I don't go too close to the edges because I don't want it to flow over the sides onto my box. Kind of eyeball it, hold it down, then I lift it up while it's on there and make sure it's even as much as possible. And then I can press down, and then I pull it apart. Carefully pull it apart, and then you can finish with your fingers pressing down all around the inside to make sure it's glued down good. And then you're going to need to let that dry for a few minutes.